Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-looking, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
No, yeah, I haven't actually played this game before, but I have seen
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
But this is also the Ultimate Deluxe or whatever edition, which I have not seen anyone play.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm good.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, well,
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot
You're
here.
gonna have to. With
I'm
those
not your
warnings.
enemy, really, I'm not.
So-
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stan. What? Really?
So
I
you
was in
don't
the
know.
middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay. No buckets past this point. Why? That's just weird, but okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm good. I'll go through this way.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley
through
walked
this way.
through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley
Go away.
walked
Let me
through...
go my
All right,
way.
fine, go ahead, Stanley. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well,
There's definitely going to be something to do with that. Oh, wait, what the hell's this? Worldwide leaderboard. Good old Neil, Skid, Nicho Nacho, Vola, Hogarth. Did you know that 21.3% of players skipped the intro sequence, only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door? Oh, I'm in the worst 3% then. How long does it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. I'm ranked 9,328th out of 9,328 players worldwide. Oh god.
now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Not so much.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. Towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail.
Okay,
It's a very
well, that
meaningful
sounds
game,
simple.
all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. That is so annoying. Nope.
You heartless bastard. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
Oh, what the hell?
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our
It's that
backstory?
Firewatch
What is our
game or
motivation?
something.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a
So
creepy
dark
man,
behind the
spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes.
What the hell? I wonder if anyone's ever gotten this far.
No, it can't be. It is.
I'm sure there
It's
was
an
a lot of
open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No. Oh, you asshole.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Yeah, Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Sports ball.
We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Well, I need a car.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yeah.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then sure... Hold on. What are you doing?
I just saw the ball go down there then, so I had to jump to see what it is.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
Oh, mate, what?
How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
I have no idea where the hell I'm supposed to be going here. Oh, it just looks like a PS2 game graphics. Like here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wonder if anything's changed.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market. Harvard. Not sure. Monetize free to play. Yep, that's what all game developers do. Send a text. Alright, well, I'll take it. It's not going to say anything. Let's go.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah, I think I'm going to go down.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nah, I don't want to deal with that.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
I didn't realize you could just die like that.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all.
So just takes you back to it. So I take it does nothing then.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Oh.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, fuck that.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Or I'll go for the one that says escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Don't believe
At this
you.
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh shit. Okay, well.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture.
shit.
He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Throughout the game, when buttons are pressed, each sound is a mix of keyboard strokes and a synthesized tone. Oh, these are the people that made the game. Yeah. The layout of the office. Yeah. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realised shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Fair enough. Oh yeah, alien base and everything.
When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever.
Kevin Brighting, the voice
Stanley
of the
walked
narrator,
over the
recorded
bridge.
dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development.
Let's see.
These are clips
Stanley
from
walked
early
through the
takes that
green
were
door.
not used
Stanley
in the final
pushed
game.
the big red button.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
What?
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.